Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and today is the Friend Friday Hop. So let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm taking 2 packs of these Crafter Square wood planks. You get 6 in a pack and they measure 4.5 by 4.5. And I'm going to go in with some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster and paint them all. And now I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly antique wax and just give them each a real light coat just to give them a little bit of distressing. And so I'll just brush it real lightly until I get it to look like this. And I'll do that to all of them. And I'll also be using 3 more of these squares, but they're not painted. And essentially we are creating boxes. So here I'm taking one as my base square, and as you can see here I added some of the Elmer's wood glue to it, and I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on both corners, and I'm going to set it down on my table and add one of the planks that is painted, and I'll secure it with some hot glue just so the wood glue will have time to dry. And so now I'll do the same thing to the opposite side. Some wood glue, a little bit of hot glue, place it on there, secure it with some hot glue on the inside, and now I'll do the same thing for the other 2 sides, but this time I have to add the wood glue to 3 sides and 2 little dabs of hot glue on each side for a total of 6 little dabs of glue. And so I'm going to place that inside, hold it in, and secure it with some of the hot glue just to give it time for the wood glue to adhere well, and do the same thing to my last side. Same exact process. More hot glue and place it in and secure it with the hot glue. And once my little box is nice and formed, I'm going to go ahead and do the same process to create 3 boxes like this. Look how cute they are. And with my Cricut, I created 3 different vinyls, and so they say whisk, stir, and flip. And now I'm just taking some jute twine and I'm wrapping them around 3 times and tying them into a little knot, and I'll do the same thing to all 3 of the little boxes. And now I'm just going to take some of these little cubes from the Dollar Tree, from the Crafter Square, and I'm just going to hot glue one on each of the little corners of the underneath just to give them a little bit of a rise. And here they are. Look how cute. I am done. What do you guys think? Today is a Friend Friday Hop, and it is created and hosted by Heidi Sonboul, and I'm taking part in it. And we will be hopping from one channel to the next. There's a link in my description box to the next person in the hop, and that will take you in a full circle to all the crafters. For DIY number 2, I'm taking 1 pack of these Crafter Square wood planks in the rectangular shape, and they measure approximately 7 by 3. And 2 furring strips that you can pick up at any home improvement store. And I'm going to go in with some Waverly antique wax and get them all painted. And now I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and with my chippy brush I'm just going to quickly give it a little dry brush until they all have that little bit of an aged look. And I'm taking my 2 furring strips and spreading them and placing my planks on it, kind of like in a ladder formation. Try to evenly spread them out, and once I have them where I want them, then I'll go ahead and hot glue them all in place. And hot glue is sufficient because these are pretty light. So now that it's all assembled and glued down and secure, I'm going to go in with some of these decals that I created with my Cricut, And look how cute. Oh my goodness, this is just such a cute decor for our kitchen. And just place them on there. Once you have them all placed, then I'm going to take this little piece from another project and I'll put it in the cards here if you're interested in seeing that project. It's just an extra piece. And I'm taking some of these tumbling tower blocks and hot gluing them kind of like standing on their sides. And I'm just using 3. And then this whole little setup, I'll go ahead and hot glue this to the very back of my sign. And so this will form a little bit of a pocket so I can place some florals. And so what's really cool about this is you can place whatever florals you'd like for whatever season or holiday. And for now I'm just choosing some boxwood from Walmart, and I'm just adding these little picks in here. And I didn't show it, but I did add Mod Podge to the whole sign. So I'm all done. Look how cute. Budget friendly, beautiful. What do you guys think? For DIY number 3, I'm taking this cute little sign from the thrift store. It has a little sawtooth hanger, and I actually got a half price. And then this little piece of wood that was in our storage room, this wire rack from the Dollar Tree, and some tumbling tower blocks, a chalkboard from the Dollar Tree, and a little palette from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go in with some Waverly chalk paint in the color white and paint everything. And now I'm just going to take some of the Waverly Antique Wax, and I just want to give it a really light brushing like I did with my first project. So just real lightly with my chippy brush, just brush it, give it a little bit of definition, a little bit of depth. And I'll do this to both of them. And now I'm going to hot glue these 2 pieces together, and this will be just fine because the pieces are pretty light. And so now I'm going to take this little palette and I'm going to hot glue 2 tumbling tower blocks on the bottom, but I'm going to double them. So you'll see here that it'll be 4 total on the bottom, and then I'll add 2 on each side. And this will form a cute little pocket that will go on the top corner of my little message center. And so this little pocket will hold mail or notes or coupons or recipes or what have you. So I'm just going to add 2 here, 2 there, and now just add some hot glue. And again, hot glue is sufficient because whatever I put in this little pocket, it's not going to be heavy. It's just going to be, some kind of paper. And my little chalkboard will go on the right side, and again I'll just add some hot glue and adhere that way. And now I'm taking some of these craft sticks, these jumbo ones from Walmart, and I'm going to cut the rounded parts off of 2, and I'll leave 2 with the rounded parts. And I'll save those rounded parts, and I'll actually use them in my next DIY, so you'll see them in a minute. Okay, so now I'm taking these 4 jumbo craft sticks, and I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly Antique Wax, and just like this, they're nice and ready and dry. And so now I'm just going to add a bead of hot glue on the top of the chalkboard and add one of the ones with the rounded ends, and the same with the bottom, add one of them with the rounded ends, and then add a bead of glue on the side and add one with the cut end, and the same on the other side. And now my little chalkboard is nicely framed, looking really cute. And I don't show it, but I did do a little bit of a dry brush with some of the plaster paint. And here I used my Cricut to cut out this little vinyl out of the Cricut design space, so it's available there. And it just says home, and I thought that was just perfect for a little added touch. And once I get that on there, now it's time to add my wire rack. And so this was tricky. So the best way I found was to use some E6000, and I got 2 of the little tumbling tower blocks, and they fit perfectly, all nestled in that little area where the screw is supposed to go. So E6000 and hot glue, and I'll just press it in there. It fits perfectly, guys. It fits perfectly. And so now I'll add some more E6000 and some more hot glue, and I'll press this onto my thin board right here. So now I'll lay it flat. And now I'll go in with a baby wipe to remove any excess glue, because I wasn't sure where it was going to hit it at, so I had added quite a bit of both glues. So here I'm trying to add a little thumbtack in the holes so the holes won't look so empty and undone or unfinished. But I wasn't liking that either after I did that. But I left it there, and instead I decided to go in with some of this beautiful ribbon, this burlap ribbon that came from Walmart. And I really like it because it's got the fringe ends on both sides. So all I did here was cover up all that metal piece on the top, and I just wrapped this around the board. And I don't show it, but I did hot glue the 2 sides to the back. So here they're hot glued, and here I'm just adding an extra glue in the center, and I'm adding a couple little tiny sprigs of boxwood just to give it that little bit of cuteness that we all love. And I am done. I am loving this cute little message center. So cute. What do you guys think? For DIY number 4, I'm taking one of these wooden rectangular plaques from the Dollar Tree with the scallop edges, and also 2 of the bamboo utensils from the Dollar Tree. So I got a spoon and I got a turner. And so I'm going to go in with the Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to use a baby wipe to get a little bit of the wax and evenly spread it out throughout the plaque and the 2 bamboo utensils. Once those are done, then I'll go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint and the color plaster, and again with my chippy brush I'm just going to go in real lightly, do a light brushing, get it a little bit distressed, and I'll just do the little plaque because I feel like that's probably enough for this particular project. But if you replicate this, you can always distress the spoons as well. But I just chose to do the plaque. So once that's done, then I'm ready for assembling. And I'm going to use some E6000. And so I'll add some E6000 first. And some hot glue. And place the 2 utensils together in a crisscross manner. Let that set up a little bit, and in the meantime I'm taking my little plaque that's nice and dry, and I'm going to go in with some of these stickers from the Dollar Tree, these letter stickers, and these are the big ones that you find in the stationery section of the Dollar Tree. And here I'm placing my letters, but as you can see they're a little bit too close. But thankfully, these letters are repositionable. So that's a great thing. So here I'm playing around. Okay, move the C over. Okay, move the O over. Yeah, sometimes it's just a process. So here I'm having it looking pretty cute. And I do end up adding the Mod Podge on the top to seal it all up at the end. So no worries about that. But it's looking cute. And so now I can proceed with my utensils, And so I'll go ahead and add some more E6000, add some more hot glue, and place my little plaque in the center where the top scallop is in the center of the two utensils, if that makes sense. And now I'm going to add some of these really cute rub-on transfers. Oh my goodness, I love these eucalyptus ones. And so I'll choose 4 that I like, and I'll cut them out real quick. And so now I'll kind of position them where I think I want them. 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and I'll just place them on there. And now I'm going to add a jute twine hanger, and I'll add some hot glue, place the hanger on one side, and here's where I use my little rounded pieces from my jumbo craft sticks. And so here's where you'll see them. And I'll just add those to help secure everything, and then that way they'll stay nice and tight and nice and secure, and they won't slip off, just for added security. And here's where I just go over the Mod Podge. And here it is. What do you guys think? For DIY number 5 and my last DIY of the day, I'm taking 2 of these wooden little houses from the Dollar Tree, and I removed all of those annoying pieces. It was a process. And I also sanded them down. And I'm also using 2 of these rectangular plaques and one of these arrows. This particular arrow is pretty long, and I don't need the whole length of it. So I'm going to add my little houses and my little rectangular plaques to the sides to form my little toolbox. And I want to see how much of the arrow I'm going to need. So I'm just going to take a Sharpie to mark off where I'm going to have to score it to cut it. And so that's how I'm going to cut it. And it's pretty thin balsa wood, so it'll cut pretty easily with some good effort. And so you just score it until it just pops off. And so I'm not going to use the little arrow part, put that away. Now just go in with some sandpaper to smoothen off any rough edges. And you're probably wondering how come I didn't use one of those little planks. It's because the arrow is a little bit longer and wider. So this will help make my toolbox shape a little bit better. And so here I'm taking this wooden dowel from the Dollar Tree and my miter shears and cutting it to size. And I'm going to go in with my Waverly antique wax and cover everything with this wax, like this. So now once everything is nice and dry, I created this little vinyl with my Cricut. And there's one thing about the antique wax, you have to make sure it's nice and dry before you add any vinyl, or you might have issues. And so you see here, it's giving me a little bit of issues, but that's okay. I'm patient. And just like that, it's on there. Beautiful. And again, I don't show it, but I did go in with Mod Podge at the end. And so here I'm using the arrow part as my base, and I'm going to do the same process as I did with my boxes earlier. Add some wood glue, add a few beads of hot glue, and place it on there. And add some hot glue on the inside to help reinforce it. And I'll do the same thing to the opposite side. Some wood glue and a few beads of, or a couple dabs of hot glue. And then reinforce the inside. And now I'm ready for my little houses to go on the ends. And I'll do the same thing. This one, well, this time I did hot glue first. Should have done the wood glue first, but that's okay. Still works out because I work fast. So now here, wood glue and hot glue. And so I place that on there. And now all I have to do is reinforce all the sides, all the corners, So I'll add some hot glue. And this is not going to be a functioning toolbox for tools. This is just going to be in the kitchen for some handy snacks. So snacks for the kiddos, for the grandkids. And here's my wooden dowel. I'm just going to hot glue that in place. And this Gorilla Glue, hot glue, is really good. So I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you in a minute how well it works. And I didn't add E6000 to that portion. And so now, just to give it the effect that it's going through the sides, I cut a couple little pieces of dowels and I just glue that to the outsides. Give it that illusion. And look at that, so cute. And look, I'm gonna carry it. Da 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 da. What do you guys think? Well, I want to thank Heidi Sonboul for inviting me to hop along in her Friend Friday and for including me. I'm so grateful to her. And I'll include all the links to her 4 amazing channels. And don't forget to also go to the link for the hop. It's down in my description box and also pinned in my comments. So go ahead and enjoy the hop. And when you loop back around to me, you'll know that you made it through the hop. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. It would really help my channel to grow. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong. And have a great, great day. Bye-bye.